Hi, today I'd like to show you a flow in Gridspace using our voice agent Grace to make outbound calls for customers who have requested a demo of your platform or SaaS service via web form. Now the case today is we have a company called Brightmetrics who uses Salesforce as their CRM and lead capture platform. And then, of course, their website where people can sign in for a demo, and then the lead is registered in Salesforce. Now, what you would like to do is for when a lead is registered via web form and a new lead is created in Salesforce, you would like to trigger a flow in Gridspace for an outbound call with our voice agent Grace to then schedule a demo. So Grace will take handling the scheduling the demo, integrating with Google Calendar with the customer, and then leading the customer out from there. Now I'll just demo the setup for you so you can see how this would work in real life.
Hi, Sebastian. This is Grace calling on behalf of Brightmetrics. I noticed that you recently registered online requesting a demo for our platform. Would this be a good time to discuss and set up your demo?
Yes, I do have some time now.
Great. This will only take a couple of minutes. Let's find a time that works best for you. What specific goals or challenges are you hoping to address with our platform?
I'd like to better monitor the machines at our factories.
Do you prefer a Liz one-on-one demo, or would you like to join a group session?
I'd like one-on-one.
What day and time would suit you best? The first available appointment we have is today at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Does that work?
How about next Tuesday at 3 p.m.?
It looks like we have this coming Tuesday, December 3rd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon available. Is that all right with you?
Yes, that works.
You said this coming Tuesday, December 3rd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. I've scheduled your demo for this coming Tuesday, December 3rd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly with all the details, including the link to join the session. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
That's about it.
Thank you, Sebastian. We're looking forward to showing you how Brightmetrics can help you achieve your goals. Have a great day.
Now let's jump straight into the setup so I can show you how this all is connected together. So here you have the playbook of the flow, the kind of the script of the call you just saw, and I will upload it in the folder below, so you can just upload it here, so you don't have to create it yourself. You can just go into here. If you click this button right here, upload, it will upload File Explorer, and you can then upload the playbook. I've linked the flow below. Now, once you upload it, you will get in here, and then you will see that we have set up for the intro script, hi customer name, using the because they already registered their info via web form, so we already have this information from Salesforce, which then hi Sebastian, I'm calling on behalf of this company, and then we'd like to set up a demo, which we go into the demo, asking them a question, and then do you prefer a one-on-one or a group session? We go into the one-on-one, and then we have set up a appointment or calendar integration here, so you can just set up if you choose a form, you create a form here, and then you go into an appointment type. Of course, you integrate with your calendar here, so Grace can get the information automatically, communicating with your Google Calendar. And then we have the outro page, which is the Q&A ending, and then goodbye once the customer is finished. Then we have a call flow. We also set up a call flow. If you go to the call flow section here in the sidebar, you can create a new call flow, and then we create inlet node with the number and then a bot, which we have done. We created a bot as well, and are selecting our playbook, and then we hang up once the flow is finished. Now let's go do the setup in our. Now I'd like to show you the setup in our Salesforce system. So first we need to create an outbound message. This is basically what Salesforce is going to send to Gridspace and which object is going to send. So we go into the setup here, and we go into setup of our Salesforce, and we go into outbound messages. So this is something we're sending to Gridspace. And once we go into outbound messengers, we would like to then create a new outbound message. And we will then select the object which we're sending out. So in our case, it's the lead object. It can be contact object or whatever object we're sending out. because we would like, when a lead is created, to send out the lead information. So we choose the lead object right here. We go into the next page, and then we can name it whatever we want. We just name this new lead. And then we would then need an endpoint URL for where we're going to send the request. Now, to communicate with Gridspace, we need a middleware between Salesforce and Gridspace. That's what we're going to use Make today. Now, Make is an easy-to-use automation flow builder, which you can create flows using webhooks, HTTP requests between different systems. It's quite easy to use and set up, and it has a good free plan. So that's what I'm going to use today. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Make and make a free account. Then you're going to go into scenarios here. Go into scenarios because you're going to create a new scenario. And then here, create a new scenario. And then I'm going to link in the description below the same folder, a flow you can just upload. So you don't need to create anything, you can just upload the flow. So if you go into more right here, and you can then import a blueprint. So you browse, you find the flow, and once you found the flow, which I will link in the description below, you can save it. And you see here, we got an imported flow right here. It's a webhook, which is going to be triggered by Salesforce. And it's since it's an XML format we're sending through, we're going to parse the XML, kind of basically organizing it, and then sending that again to Gridspace with the JSON format. Now, we're going to go into the webhook, we're going to create the webhook, and then we can call the webhook whatever we want. And then we can copy the webhook, and then we go back into our Salesforce system. And then here is the endpoint URL we're going to use for the webhook, which is going to be triggered by this outbound message. So here in the available fields, you can add objects you would like to send to Gridspace. So these are the fields in the lead object or whatever object you choose for information that are stored in Salesforce, and then we're going to send out to Gridspace. So here I would like to get the phone, the first name and last name of the customer, and also the company. And so here, once I've selected some fields, I can then save this. And now we have created our outbound message. Now we are not done yet in Salesforce. We also need to create the flow that will trigger this outbound message. So what we need to do here is we're going to need to search for flow, and we're going to go into automation, process automation, and then flows here. We're going to create a process automation flow inside of Salesforce. Now for this, you need to have an enterprise level of Salesforce to be able to go and create flows like this. So now we're inside flows. I would like to create a new flow. Now, once we're in a new flow, we would like to start from scratch. What we're going to choose here is the record triggered flow. This basically means that whenever a record is created, updated, or deleted, it does something. So we would like, when a lead is created, we would like to do something. We send the outbound message. So when we choose the record triggered flow, we then here we go into what object we would like to trigger it on. So it's a lead object. So whenever a lead object is created, something will happen. Now, the rest of the conditions here, you can leave as is. And then we go into the plus icon right here. We will add a new step to the flow. And here is where we will add our outbound message. So we'll create an action, and we then we search for our object. Right here, yeah, you see here, this is the outbound message, new lead, and just label it. You can just label it new lead as well. And then we save that. We also take the flow label name. Now we have given our flow a label, and we then save it. Now everything's set up is ready. You just need to click this activate button, and now the flow is up and running. So whenever a new lead is created in Salesforce, it will then trigger an action in Make. Now Make is pretty much set up for it. We need to do some setup for it to work properly. So what we need to do is we need to get some data, some example data, for it to be able to get that through Gridspace. So what we will do is we will click on the webhook, and we will right click, and we will run this module only. And we will wait for new data. Now this is running and it's basically waiting for data. So what we need to do, we need to go into our Salesforce. Here I will create a new lead. I'll just create a new fake lead. So here we have our new fake lead. Now if I save this and create it, it should then trigger the flow in the Make session. And yes, a successful webhook handle was created. And as you see here in the value, this is the information we got from Salesforce. We can see down here, you can see we have our phone number, name, and the company name. What we do next is we go into the next node, which is the parsing the XML, basically dividing it up and organizing it. So we need to create data structure. So we're already reading the value of this node, which is the webhook. So we just need to add a new data structure. So we add, and we're going to generate it. So we're just going to leave the name as this. We're going to go into the webhook again, the values. We go up here in the little bubble, we're going to copy this whole value and go back into XML, and then click on generate. We choose the XML type, and then you just paste data in there, generate. As you can see here, it generated the whole structure of the XML organized. And we save that data. So we save it and OK. And now this data should be organized for us to use in our next node, which then is making the webhook or HTTP request to Gridspace. Now, as here in the HTTP request, we're using a specific endpoint, which we use as a start outbound session endpoint. It's in the docs. I will link it down below. You'll find in the folder with a link to this endpoint. You can look for it at yourself if you wanted, but you don't need to look too much here because it's pretty much set up in the make flow. So here you see we're making a post request to Gridspace, where the type is of a raw data. We're sending a JSON object. And then this is pretty much set up for already. We're sending the customer name, the company information, and then the phone number. All the information is set up here in the flow. It's from this XML parsing. Now, the only thing you need to do is you need to find the inlet node, which is going to be triggered. So that will be the call flow inlet node. Now, how you will find this ID for the call flow that you will trigger is you need to go into Gridspace again. You need to go into application sections here in the settings of Gridspace. And then probably you can also reference the phone number. Probably it's the first node right here because you just created it. Now we go into the call flow inlet right here. And we then get this code, this end code right here. This is the call flow ID. So we copy this and then we paste that inside here. So now that specific call flow will be triggered. And then lastly, we'll also need to authorize this request because we can't send a request without authorization. So we need our user ID and our master key. This is the master key API key for our account. How you will find this, you will go again back into Gridspace and you will go into the account info section. And you can see here, you will find your account ID and secret key, and then also temporary keys you've created. Now this is information you will copy into make, the secret key into the master key, and then the account ID into the username section. Now once this is set up, we will test the whole flow to see if it's working. So we have set up the webhook, the XML parsing, and the HTTP request with our authorization and the correct information. So we will then run this once, and we're waiting for new data. So we run it, and then we're now basically ready, waiting for new data to arrive. So I will then create a new lead with my phone number, and hopefully, if it works, I will get a phone call from Grace triggering an outbound session. So I'll save it, and then we go back into make, and we'll see, okay, all green. And in a second now, I'm receiving a call from Grace right now with the outbound session. Now, if you have any questions about the flow we just done, you can feel free to look down below and answer any questions you have there. If you'd like to test out more demos like this and see for yourself, you can go into gridspace.com and there's many more demos right there. Okay, thank you for watching.